Okay, so take a deep breath in through the nose. And then open the mouth, side out. And so welcome to your Wednesday Yoga Nidra practice. We'll be doing Yoga Nidra for the Sacral Chakra, the Svadhisthana Chakra. If you are coming in and your body is not quite ready to rest, go ahead and take these next couple minutes while I talk a little bit about the second chakra to do any movement. If you're ready, you can go right into Shavasana or whatever pose you're going to be into. But otherwise, we do have a couple minutes to do some cat-cow, some downward dog, do a sun salutation. So listen to your body, because Yoga Nidra is ideally practiced in stillness. The body will go to sleep through the help of the support of the props, and then we'll move through the body scan, which will help the body to go even deeper. And then we're going to have the sacral chakra as our kind of our guiding system for this journey. So we will continue to focus at the second chakra. The second chakra is at the sacrum. So the sacral chakra, the sacrum chakra, but it also is the hips, the pelvis, the genitals, the reproductive organs. It connects to the element of water, which is also the kidney meridian. It has to do with emotional safety, emotional intelligence, intuition, sensuality, sexuality, intimacy, right? So like all of our kind of big areas that a lot of us struggle in, mostly because we don't know how to be in this fluid, emotional, intuitive space. So if you were with us last week, we really talked about the root chakra and the importance of safety and foundation of our basic needs being met, our strong container. And then once we have that, we're able to connect to the water, right? So if you think about, if you have water, if there's no container, it just spills out and goes everywhere. So in a sense, the practice today will be establishing that container so that we can get into the fluid body. We can get into the flow of the body, the breath. This is a really powerful practice right now, because a lot of us are feeling so much emotional, right? We're feeling so emotional. And even today, a lot of people are feeling emotional. It's been an emotional year. I mean, life is emotional, and yet most of us don't know how to be with our feelings. We're taught at a really early age that our feelings aren't okay. Most of us are not taught to honor our sensuality and sexuality, and oftentimes that of other people. So this is a powerful chakra to be into at any time, but especially right now, as so much is stirring, so much is shifting. Being able to just be with our emotions and let them move through us and guide us without being reactionary is really important. Taking responsibility for our emotional health, well-being, intelligence, intimacy, sexuality, sensuality, our intuition. So go ahead and settle in. You can lie on your back. If you're on your back, please have a pillow under your head. Please have support under your knees. Cover up with a blanket. You can also put an eye pillow, or even just like the sleeve of a shirt can be really good for that. You could do a side lying Shavasana if that's more comfortable, lying on your side with support between the knees and under the head, and just anything that feels cozy. And you can always put on essential oils if you have a diffuser, or light a candle, or anything that will create that sacredness in this sacral chakra practice. And let's just go ahead and start to take some deep, watery breaths. So obviously, right, we can't breathe in the water, but this idea of breathing as water does. Let yourself start to sink into the earth, into the mat. So feeling first into our foundation to establish the practice, to establish the step of relaxation. So feel into the support around you, the props that you might be on, but also the room you're in, the home that you're in, the home that is holding you, housing you. Feel into the body that supports you, the bones, the muscles, the structures. Just let yourself really connect to earth for a moment. And as you connect to the earth in your body and all around your body, start to call that element in, call in that physicality, that safety and structure. call yourself here fully for the practice of Yoga Nidra for the sacral chakra. So establishing our roots in our body, in our room, in our space. With our eyes closed, you might visualize the room you're in, the support around you. Without moving, you might sense the sensation of touch, of what is holding you, what you are holding. And as we call in the senses now as a way of grounding, we also begin to invoke the Svadhisthana chakra because that is our sensual chakra. So first, by closing the eyes and allowing that inner vision to awaken by visualizing the structures and the support around you. Feeling the sensation of the clothing or items supporting you, structuring. And then as you really feel safe through that sense of touch and that inner sense of vision, you begin to notice the hearing. And you probably hear the sound of my voice. And maybe there are other sounds, the sound of your breath, the sounds of your housemates, whether they be plant, animal, human. Maybe you hear sounds out on the street. Maybe there's sounds of the TV. And just call the sounds in. So again, let that physical world start to drift away and start to just draw yourself inward. Letting go of any sounds outside of my voice, outside of your breath. And just continue to follow the sound of my voice. And as you follow the sound of my voice in, again, just notice your breath. Take a few slow, steady breaths, gathering your senses, gathering your physical world here and now as we prepare to dive into the emotional realms. Notice if there's any scent in the nose, smell in the room, maybe essential oils. Again, maybe you can smell something from the kitchen. And as you soften the nostrils, as you soften the ears, the eyes, the sense of touch, we move our attention into the mouth. And as you connect to the mouth, this final sensory awareness, and the sense of taste is actually connected to the sacral chakra. And so it is here as we draw the attention into the mouth that we begin this Yoga Nidra for the Svadhisthana chakra. And so feel your mouth, soften your tongue, swallow, and just notice the richness of sensation in the mouth, in the jaw, the tongue, and the teeth. Heighten that sense of taste. Is there any taste in the mouth without judgment, without labeling? But as you fill your attention, your sensation in the mouth, the sense of taste, begin to let everything else relax. And as you allow your mouth to relax, as you focus on the tongue, the taste, the teeth, the jaw, you might notice the fluid building in the mouth, the saliva. And we become aware of the fluid body, which will guide us on this journey today. And so as you soften into the moisture of the mouth, allow that to help you to drop deeper and to relax. And follow that fluid awareness from your tip of your tongue, down the tongue, root of the tongue, down the throat. Draw your attention all the way down into the pelvic bowl, into the area of the sacrum, the pelvis, the genitals, the reproductive organs. And all of that is there, but for now, just bring your attention into this part of the body. Maybe you focus at the sacrum. Maybe again, you're feeling into the hips, the pelvis, the genitals. And I want you to invoke the energy of water. I want you to imagine your safest, most harmonious, most tranquil, most powerful connection to water. I want you to fill your pelvic bowl up with this energy. So maybe you see a lake. Maybe it's a stream, maybe it's the ocean, maybe it's a water source from a dream or from a photograph. Maybe it's a puddle as you stand in the rain, a waterfall. Maybe it's mist, all the manifestations of water, but you let it gather here into the bowl of the pelvis as we activate, initiate, restore the Svadhisthana chakra through this practice of Yoga Nidra. And as you connect to this water source here in the pelvis, we want to offer our sankalpa, our intention, our vow, our longing. And so as you rest here in the pelvic bowl, as you rest here in this sacred water, what is your deepest longing? What is your deepest longing in this space? And it relates to you, not anyone else. It relates to you, nothing material, nothing physical. As we bring all of our attentions, we gather ourselves fully into this sacred abode. What is your deepest wish? And as though you could, toss a coin in a fountain or skip a rock on the waves, imagine dropping, rippling this intention into your pelvis, into this water source. Maybe you're already working with the sankalpa. Sankalpa is a short positive statement that begins with I am, or I feel. And again, it's very personal, it's present, and it's positive. And so in this area, it could be, I am whole. I trust my intuition. I trust my sexuality. I feel sensual. I honor my sensuality. I trust my emotions. I am healed. I'm whole. But let it arise for you naturally, intuitively from this sacred space. And allow yourself to gently drop your intention into the sacral chakra. Drop it in 3 times. And as you drop this intention into the pelvic bowl, you again see that rippling in this water source. And as you rest in this space of the Svadhisthana chakra, we will begin our rotation of consciousness. And so as you feel into the pelvic bowl, as you feel into whatever water energy you have invoked, we want to imagine moving that water through the body as I call out the parts. And when we move our attention through parts of the body, not only do we recreate and cultivate healthy neural pathways with the brain, but we really do bring this relaxation and attention to each part of the body. And so whatever water source is most whole and holy for you, as I call out body parts, you're going to imagine sending those healing, cleansing, blessed waters into these parts of the body. So rest again for a moment in the pelvis and the sacral chakra, in the sacred water source that you have called in, knowing your intention has been received and there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. There's no way to make this perfect or do this right. We're moving this emotional, energetic element through the body for greater clarity and healing and awareness. And so again, feeling the waters in the pelvis. And begin to feel them flow up and down the spine. So from the pelvis, these waters move back into the sacrum. And you imagine the fluid energy moving up and down your spine. Sacred waters moving up and down your spine, helping your body to sink deeper into the earth. And the next time you feel that fluid energy in the tailbone, the waters begin to move down the right right hip, right thigh, right knee, right shin. These waters gently flood over your right foot, all your toes. Again, the water's just gently washing over your right leg and foot. And you feel the waters flow back up your right foot, right leg, right thigh. And again, the waters move back through the pelvic bowl and then down the left leg. So from the tailbone, they flow down into the left hip, left thigh, left knee, left shin, flowing down the left foot, the whole left foot and all your toes. Feeling those gentle waters washing over your toes and your foot, your whole left leg and foot. Again, flowing back up through the left foot, left leg, left thigh, and the waters gather back in your pelvic bowl. And you feel them swirl around the pelvic bowl. And then it begins to move up the spine again, feeling the waters flowing up and down your spine. And as the water flows up the spine to the base of the neck, begins to move out to the right arm. So coming out through the right shoulder, right upper arm and elbow, your right forearm and your right hand. Waters flowing gently down each finger on the right hand, flowing through the tips of the right fingers. Gentle waters washing over the right arm, the hand, the forearm, the upper arm, into the shoulder. And then it pulls into the back of the heart, the back of the neck, before moving over to the left arm. So the water's gently flowing down the left shoulder, left upper arm, left elbow, left forearm, all the way down the left hand, the back of the hand, palm of the hand, and all fingers. Gentle cleansing through the left fingers down to the tips of the fingers. Your left hand, left forearm, upper arm, and shoulder. Again, you feel that water energy pooling in the back of the heart, the back of the neck, as it moves back down your spine, back into the pelvis. And you feel these waters in the pelvis flow down through the tailbone and swirl back up into the pelvic bowl, washing the hips, the bones of the pelvis, the reproductive organs, the genitals, or the energetic awareness of the reproductive organs and genitals. And these waters flow through the pelvis, rinsing the pelvic bowl and the tailbone, before moving up into low belly, washing over the low belly and the organs that live here. And then moving into the solar plexus, waters washing over the organs of the solar plexus. And then climbing up, rinsing through the right side of the ribs, the lungs and organs that live here. And the water's spiraling up into the left side of the ribs, the other side of the lung, the heart. Feeling the ribs, the inside and out of the ribs, washed away with these healing waters. And climbs up into the center of the chest, the front of the throat. And these waters gently wash over your face, as though you were rinsing your face in the most refreshing stream, or turning it towards the rain. You again feel your chin, your mouth, right facial cheek, left facial cheek. your whole nose. The right eye, eyeball, eye socket. Left eye, eyeball, eye socket. The right ear and the left ear. And then you feel the water pooling into the space between the eyebrows. So someone just very gently trickling water or even a warm oil at that space between the eyebrows, and you feel the forehead and the temples relax. You feel the cleansing waters wash over the third eye point and the crown of your head. And as you feel this water energy at the crown of the head pooling down to the third eye, you just allow your whole body to be gently bathed in water. However this water energy is awakening and moving through you, the most cleansing, cooling, warming energy of waters washing from the crown of your head, down your face, down both arms, down your torso, down your legs, your whole body gently rinsed, washed clean of any outdated emotional debris, any stuck or stagnant energy that has been restricting the flow of your body, of your breath, of your emotion. You feel the whole body softening into the earth as though it were melting gently with the sacred flow. There's no need to hold the body up now. You can allow the body to just melt and trust that the body will melt and flow as you relax deeper and deeper into this practice. And as the body melts and softens, we become aware of the breath, the pranamaya kosha. And you begin to feel the breath moving through you like waves as the physical body becomes just that pulse of water. And you imagine inhaling, breathing up the body, and exhale, breathing down the body. And you can even see yourself as though you are the waves, breathing in the waves or the rainfall, the pulse of life in the lake or stream, the flow of the fountain. And you just allow yourself to be breathed as water, rising up and down with the current, with the tide, nowhere to go, nothing to do, just feeling the breath move you as a wave, as water, as pure flow. No forcing the breath, just observe the inhale as it rises up through your being, and the exhale as it moves down. Without force, how slow and deep can this breath be? As each breath, again, brings more water, more flow, more freedom, more healing, more intuition. And there's nothing to do except allow the flow of breath through the water of your body. Stay with that flow of breath. The body becomes more and more like water as you rest deeper and deeper into this sacral healing pulse. And just as the body will continue to melt and flow, the energy body will continue to breathe these waves. We allow that pulse. We trust in that pulse of breath and water. And just again, focus your energy at the light of that sacral chakra. And whatever form the body has taken, whatever fluid form, can you feel into that pulse of the Svadhisthana chakra? that pulse of intuition and emotion, of creativity, of sensuality. Where is that pulse now in your body as the body flows like water, as the breath moves like waves? Focus your attention at that pulse of the Svadhisthana chakra. And as we focus at the pulse of the Svadhisthana chakra, we call in the experience of the Manomaya Kosha, the mental and emotional realms. Again, knowing there's nowhere to go, nothing to do, that just allowing yourself to be and sense water. And I'm going to call in emotions and their opposites. And I just want to invite you to feel those emotions with whatever intensity or symbolism or texture you need to. There's no story, there's no attachment, there's just the flow. Emotion is energy in motion. And as we call in this emotional experience, we feel it fully and we release it completely to restore our emotional well-being, our emotional intelligence. So again, just feeling into the pulse of the Svadhisthana chakra. And call in the emotion of heavy. What does it feel like when you are heavy? How are the waters of your being heavy? What is it like when water gets heavy? And let the waters flow through that heaviness, releasing it out to the edges. And we bring in the experience of the opposite of lightness. How do you feel light in the water? How does water reflect light? What is the feeling state of lightness in your fluid body right now? What is it like to be light in the water? And we allow that lightness to move through, again, just feeling that pulse. And we call in the felt sense of heat. What is heat like in water? How does the water in your body change when you add heat? Feel heat with as much intensity as is appropriate. And then allow that heat to disperse through the waters and bring in the opposite, bring in the cool water. What happens to water when you bring in cold? What do the waters feel like? How do they shift when you become cold? What are cold waters like in your body? The cold waters disperse. You rest into the pulse of the Svadhisthana chakra. And we call in the emotion of sad. How does sadness move through your waves? No attachment to story. Just allow sadness to move through these sacred waters. How do you feel sad? Where does sad live in your fluid body? Allow sadness to flow through the channels and call in joy. What happens to the fluid body when you evoke joy? What is the felt sense of joy? Joy. And allow the joy to move back through the fluid body. Feeling into the pulse of the Svadhisthana chakra. And we call in the emotional experience of guilt. Guilt. How does guilt flow in these waters? What comes up in the emotional body when we invite guilt? Guilt. Let guilt feel what needs to be felt. And then we allow that guilt to be rinsed away. And we bring in trust. Trust. How do you trust the waters? Where is trust in these waves that move through you? Feel trust in your fluid body. One more time, feel into that pulse of the Svadhisthana chakra. And invite in the experience of intuition. Intuitive. How do you feel intuitive? What does intuition feel like? And as you allow intuition to flow, as you allow trust, intuition, joy to flow together, invite in the experience of sensuality. Let sensuality rise to the top of these emotional experiences. What is your healthy sensuality? How does sensuality flow through your waters, washing through the highs and lows, the dark and light? How does your sensuality wash away anything that is not yours? Allow that flow of your sensuality to wash away anything that is no longer yours. You have the right to feel. You have the right to your sensuality, your sexuality. You have the right to your emotions and your intuition. And as you rest in the power and pulsation of your healthy, embodied, sensual intuition, let yourself rest in that space. Let that space of the Svadhisthana chakra be filled by that flow of healthy sensuality and intuition, emotional intelligence and wholeness. And as you rest into that pulse of the restored Svadhisthana chakra, we drop a layer deeper. We drop into the deepest waters of the unconscious, of the subconscious, knowing the body continues to flow and melt, the breath continues to move the waters through, the emotional, mental realms are intact and restored. We can safely drop into the Dhyanamaya Kosha, the wise, intuitive waters. So allow yourself to drop deep, deep. Imagine yourself diving, swimming down through the deepest waters, knowing that you are safe, knowing that you can breathe. And what is it like as you swim down into deep waters? Does your body change? Does your form shift? You become a different species, a different creature? Are there magical powers that allow you to move and dive deep? And as you swim deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper, knowing you are safe, knowing you are supported to go deeper and deeper, you find yourself floating in a warm, dark space. So far from the surface, there's no light. To allow yourself to float in this warm, dark space. There's nothing to see and there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. You've swam as far as you can go and now you just float. Your body suspended by these waters. And you let go. You let go and you surrender. You surrender to the deepest waters, the deepest healing. And as you surrender and float effortlessly in this deep, warm, dark, watery space, letting go, trusting completely in these waters, you begin to see a flicker of light. And these lights begin to flash deep red and then juicy orange, bright yellow, emerald green, sky blue, midnight blue, amethyst violet, and then a bright white, a dazzling white light that permeates these deep waters. And as you are bathed in this white light and these deep waters, you begin to feel whatever it is you need to feel. Knowing you are bathed in both water and light, you will allow yourself to feel anything that needs to be felt, any residual emotion, wound, fear, guilt, joy, pleasure. You allow yourself to feel anything that needs to be felt, that is ready to come up and to be released into these deep waters and this bright white light. And your feelings may take the shape of symbols or images or stories. And we don't need to attach it, just let it move through you. As you are suspended, floating, held in these sacred waters and this bright white light, give yourself full permission to release and feel anything that needs to be felt so that you can be free. You can be free in your emotions, in your body, in your intuition, in your pleasure. Feel whatever needs to be felt. And the more you feel, the more you release. The body effortlessly begins to lift, begins to arise and be drawn up. The more you feel, the more you release, the more you trust, the lighter you get, and effortlessly you are lifted up out of the dark, deep waters. You float more towards the top with every breath, with every feeling that is felt. Before you know it, you are resting, floating at the top of the water. The dazzling white light of the sun, the moon, the luminaries, bathing you from above. As you are held from below by the sacred waters, you just allow yourself to release into the bliss of effortless, intuitive, sensual emotionality. And as you float effortlessly at the top of the water, under the dazzling light, You begin to hear the sound of your sankalpa. So the intention you offered at the beginning of the practice, if there was a feeling or a statement, you allow that to move through you 3 more times. You can just really feel into that bliss. And as you offer the sankalpa, the light seals, the water seals, and your body seals in this healthy, fluid transformation. Your sacral chakra has been restored. And this practice of yoga nidra is now complete. So as you allow the waters to still move in whatever way is appropriate, you start to sense back into the earth, allowing the body to find its form again, using our senses to draw us out of this practice. And maybe tasting in the mouth, smelling through your nose, observing sounds or sensations of the skin, visualizing the room you're in, or just kind of moving the eyes back and forth underneath your lids. As we allow the water element and the earth element to reunite and balance. You can start to deepen the breath. Maybe bring movement back. You're always welcome to rest longer. But otherwise, if and when you're ready, start to wiggle, stretch, roll to one side. Take all the time you need. If you would like, you can find a seat. Otherwise, just continuing to rest. You might find a little rocking, just a little fluid movement. You can place your hands at your heart or on your belly, or a hand at your heart and your belly. And definitely a good time to move into some journaling or painting, drawing, dancing, or maybe be around the element of water before you get back into the world. Have a big cup of water, take a shower. This water energy will continue to move through us through these next few days. If you'd like to, we'll finish by toning the sound of the sacral chakra, the sound of Vam, where you can just listen or hum. Take a deep breath in. Vam. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you for practicing today.
Thanks, Becca.
Thank you.